Dr. O'Leary. I was involved with the surgical team completing the C-section on Mrs. Romanoff. By the time we went into the OR, her and her baby were already very critically ill and acutely unstable. I had already reviewed her chart before going into the OR, and it seemed her symptoms were going on for some time already. It was apparent in what I read that the parents' fears weren't taken seriously for quite a long time that day, and they should have been seen by the gynecologist sooner than when they were. The patient's care seemed to have been delayed due to many factors. So when I arrived in the OR, the baby needed to come out immediately, or was death to both the mom and the baby. The resident was wasting time by trying to give me every single detail, but I knew we had to act fast, and I had already read all I needed to know in the chart. The anesthesiologist, Dr. Beckett, was taking too long performing the spinal anesthetic, so I told him to use general anesthesia to hurry up and get this baby out. Dr. Beckett was trying to argue with me and make excuses, but the baby was bradycardic, so I insisted he hurries up with the general anesthesia. Dr. Beckett finally administered the general anesthetic, and when he told me the patient was unconscious, I proceeded to make the first incision. We were going to lose both the baby and the mom if we didn't get that baby out now. After the incision was made, Dr. Beckett said he was unable to intubate and to call a code for a surgical airway. If something wasn't done immediately, the mom was going to die. A nurse called the code team, and not long after, I noticed extremely dark blood in the patient's uterus. I know that this meant that the patient needed ventilation ASAP. The code team took an extremely long time to get to the patient, and when they did arrive, they said they couldn't find us, and that is why it took so long. They started doing an emergency trach while I extracted the baby from the uterus. After the baby was out, I noticed a lot of blood from the mom while pediatrics was resuscitating the newborn boy. After the code team inserted the new airway, the mom's sats started coming up. At this time, the pediatrician started rushing the nurse, and the baby was giving a shot of Methogen instead of vitamin K. The pediatrician said she would call the pharmacy for an antitoxin as soon as she got back upstairs. I would say the entire medical team as a whole contributed to these drastic errors. I don't think just one person was responsible, but we all had a part. If the staff wasn't so overworked and understaffed, then maybe they would have caught the major problem with Mrs. Romanoff sooner. If the hospital had a translator in-house, then maybe we would have understood the Romanoff's worries more easily and quicker. In the OR, if I would have listened to the resident and the anesthesiologist more intently, then maybe we could have avoided placing a trach in Mrs. Romanoff. Most importantly, I think everyone needs to slow down and listen to their patients and what they're trying to tell us. Dr. S., we need to get some more staff in here to help eradicate some of these terrible tragedies in the future. That is my point of view on what happened to Mrs. Romanoff that day.